Hey everybody, Forever Retro 82 here. Hope you're staying safe and doing well in this pandemic. And you can see in the corner there we have Mogwai grooming himself. He's been spending a lot of time with his cat daddy a lot lately, and that's fine. I don't mind his company. I'm pretty sure you all have animals that you like company with as well. Be it dogs, snakes, tarantulas, snakes, whatever. I mean, animals. They're good company. They're good. They're very good company. They're good people, or not good people, because there's no such thing. They're, I'm kidding. There's some good people out there, just very minuscule numbers anyway. We're gonna look at 5 Genesis games that I personally hated when I was younger. This goes from single-digit years all the way to my teens, and even late teens, and maybe even my early 20s. But here I am nearing 40, and there are some games that I finally decided to learn and enjoy them for what they are, and I actually find myself keep coming back to these titles now, where before I would just put them on the shelf and forget about them, forget they exist. I'm pretty sure you've got some games in your collection, or had games in your collection at some point in your life, where you just put on the shelf and you just don't give a shit about it. With that being said, I hope you do enjoy this video. Also, this is just my opinion. It's subjective as always, but I'm always willing to listen to your guys' opinions on games that you've hated and love now and all that good stuff. So with that being said, let's go ahead and begin. The first title we're going to be looking at is Risky Woods. This is one of the first playthroughs I did on this channel. Now, when I was a kid, this game was really bloody hard, and I also didn't like playing it for another reason. But you start as Draxus, who goes through these many lands to rescue his monk brothers and to defeat the evil Draxus that threatens the land with chaos, destruction, and anarchy. Kind of sounds like some political bullshit that's going on right now. Anyways, what I hated about this game is some of the bullshit it has. Like, for instance, you take that, it heals you, it's an apple, but it also makes you go to sleep and you lose time. And you will run out of time if you're not quick enough. But the game looks fine. I mean, this is a port of an Amiga game of the same name. This game was also known as Draxus in Japan. So basically what you want to do if you want to get anywhere in this game is to collect as many of these fucking coins as you can, because when you collect enough, you'll get armor. But sometimes when you get, like, grab this arrow, now sometimes you'll get points, other times it'll take you earlier in the fucking stage. I mean, the game lives up to its name. But, like, I'm not going to grab that one over there. Fuck that, because it'll probably take me back. But what I really love about this game, I mean, if you want, all things considered, it looks good. I mean, there's plenty of parallax scrolling. The music is okay for the Genesis. I mean, it's not perfect. Electronic Arts did not have the strongest sound design when it comes to Genesis games, at least in my opinion. I think their sound system sucks for the most part. Another aspect of this game that's annoying is this. You throw this in there and you play basically a small game of Simon Says. But you get goodies out of there once in a while. Now here's what I was talking about. There's a monk statue, right? Now there's going to be good monks and bad monks. The good monks come out of the statue, like that one. The bad ones will just hurt you. The fireball is very helpful, as you can probably tell. I get always entranced when I play this, because it's such a fun little platformer, and it makes the funniest sound when you die. You hear a garbled scream, and that's actually exclusive to this version for what, god damn it, for whatever reason. I think it's still funny to this day, though. Now, there's a bug in this game. I'll try to trigger it on the next stage. And I'll also show you one of those evil monks, because I want to go ahead. We're just going to take this all in one take, because I just basically want to show you the first area of the game. I mean, if you want to watch my Let's Play, I can link that in the description for you. There's different weapons as a game. There's a boomerang, there's an axe. The axe is the best weapon. You want to get that. As you can tell, the enemies are dicks in this game, which is why the difficulty was too high for my liking at the age of 10 when I first played this. And I died. God damn it. They just keep coming, and they don't stop coming. Do they hit the ground running? I'm not sure, probably, because they do run towards you if you want to consider that a run anyway. I mean, yeah, I guess that's a run for skeletons. You want to collect these pieces, because if you don't collect them, you get sent back to where the piece is, or near where the piece is. See, there's an axe, but of course, the company's going to be a bunch of dicks and not give you the fucking axe. I got the fireball for now, that'll work. It's better than a dagger. Do not get the boomerang. Alright, that's a good monk. We'll see a evil monk here soon. I mean, it's not as cool as it sounds. I mean, it'd be cool if they came out with, like, demon wings and horns and all that. That'd be dope as fuck. Another interesting aspect of this game is how you get continues, which we're soon going to see. You're going to see a treasure chest pop up here in a minute. As soon as I can get some time to fucking move. Alright, there's a treasure chest. Now watch this shit. You open it, you see a little Draxus, right? You basically gotta catch the little bastard. Once it's caught, you gotta continue. And you're gonna need any continues that you can muster up. I've only been able to get one in this game. I could never see any more Draxus. Now here's an evil monk. Yeah, see how it's this red hellfire, and then there's just a bunch of fire, and you get damage. It sucks. Now I think when you hit 35 with the gold, you get armor. You want it to get the armor. You get silver first and then gold later. That's why you gotta collect these shards. Now the Amiga version was different. You had shops where you buy armor in the game and everything costed a stupid amount of money. I much prefer this version only because the gameplay seems to be more streamlined than it is bullshit difficulty. Make no mistake, this game is still bullshit hard. But it has a learning curve and you just gotta pick up and do it. That's get good, as they say in the trade, I guess. I usually have armor by this time, but unfortunately that's not the case. Now those guys up there are probably my least favorite enemies in the game. But oh shit, I'm about to run out of time. See, that's usually what happens if you take too much time. And then they start you back at the beginning of the stage. Now after that clusterfuck, we can see another aspect of the game I do enjoy. The boss fights. They're simple, but they got good detail. I mean, it looks fantastic, but for first bosses, this is definitely not the best thing to show, but there's plenty of awesome bosses here. I mean, like I said, if you want to see the game in its entirety, go ahead and watch my Let's Play of it. I'll link it in my description, like I mentioned earlier. The timer does not reset when you die. It's fucking stupid. As you can see, I still struggle once in a while with this game, but there are times I pop it in and then I do just fine. It's also got a catchy boss tune, too. It's kind of has a, I don't know, just that fantasy sound. Now, if you want to back this fucker up, make sure you get out of his way of his fireballs. But yeah, once you learn the game's difficulty and you get yourself some armor, the game actually becomes, well, I don't want to say easy, but it does become more handleable. I just want to beat this bitch. There we go. He's dead. And you can get all sorts of coinage, but here's the problem. See that bloody timer? That's another issue of the game, is the timer. So you can get more there, but I don't have the time. But that's okay, because I'm done showing off footage here of this particular game. But I don't want to ruin the rest of it for you, but then again, you can watch my Let's Play for more. You can see Risky Woods is actually a pretty awesome game. It's got some great parallax scrolling. It has action. The music's decent. The Amiga version's a lot better. But other than that, in terms of music anyway, I don't know if the gameplay's better, because you got to press up to jump and then you have your action button. You know, that was a commonplace with 16-bit platformers. But the reason why I hated that game, though, was, well, two reasons. It was just bloody difficult. I couldn't wrap my head around how it was played and how, like, with the enemy patterns. It's something you have to learn, kind of like trial and error. But once you get a hold of that and you get yourself some armor, I found out that the game is actually a fun game to play. It's a nice way to spend an hour, 45 minutes. Depends on how good your skill level is. Some people can probably breeze through this game in even less time than that. But I suggest you give it. I suggest you check it out. But just be warned, it's going to be brutally difficult. But if you play it a few times and you give it a chance, I think you'll actually like it. But then again, you know, you're not me, so we both have difference of opinion. I enjoy Risky Woods, and hopefully one day I can muster up enough strength to beat the Amiga version. I don't think that'll happen in my lifetime, but one day. Maybe just that one day. But with that being said, let's move on to the next game. What's that you say? Another Electronic Arts game? Well, they were prominent in their Genesis days. They made a lot of great stuff and released a lot of great stuff, but it was developed by Beam Software. This is Blades of Vengeance. Were you tired of beat-em-ups like Golden Axe? Well, this game is sort of a beat-em-up as well, but it's not combo-based. And boy, is this game bullshit difficult. First of all, you have this hot, white-haired chick with a beautiful figure. You have this brawn-ass motherfucker with a big battle axe that will lop heads off. And then you have this wizard that's weak as shit. I don't like wizards in games because they're weak. Sorry, that's just my opinion. And that dude up above is just some dude that helps you out throughout the adventure. But I'm going to pick the hot chick for your viewing pleasure, of course. That toxic masculinity they talk about. What the fuck? Why did it back out? That's weird. Okay. Sorry about that. There we go. Alright, so, Blades of Vengeance. It's a great looking game. It's got some decent tunage, and, you know, it's got an interesting backstory as always. Just, you know, basically go through a stage, beat a boss, and, and free to land and shit. But, you know, the sprite work on this game is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, when you see her walk, you can see the fucking tendons in her legs move as she moves. I mean, it's a lot of attention to detail. You got parallax scrolling, you got fire, you got blood. You know, this game is as metal as you could get on the Genesis, other than Splatterhouse. Okay, so, you know, we got the makings of a great game here. So why did I hate it? Well, this game is brutal. Like, more brutal than Risky Woods could ever dream of. This is another game you got to pretty much memorize. But there is some cheap deaths here once in a while. And the jumping controls are a little floaty. It's like, what are you trying to be, Superman? And shit like that happens sometimes when you least expect it. But yeah, you got some decent tunage and some good gameplay, but damn, this game is brutally hard. I mean, you really have to take your time with it. If you just rush into it and not take your time, you're gonna get owned and slaughtered like cattle. It's unbelievable, but believable at the same time. Yeah, as you can tell, you die a lot. Now, that could have been my fault, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it's just the game being cheap. I bought this game at the, we had a thing down here called the Super BitCon, and it was basically an expo for gaming, a gaming expo and such. And unfortunately, storms down here have caused it to go into a halt process, but there are rumors of them bringing it back, and I hope so, because I would love to go there again, you know, see some gamers, talk to them, and check out some retro stuff, as always, because retro stuff is awesome. That's my shindig, as you all know. But yeah, this game is brutally difficult, as you can probably tell. I mean, it doesn't look that way. You're like, okay, this looks like rudimentary shit, but honestly, it's not as easy as it looks. It will own you, spit you out, and then you'll come back for more, which I do all the time. As you can also tell, there's some secrets in the game, too. There's some secret areas that you can get extra stuff, and, you know, pretty rudimentary for a 16-bit platformer, but, you know, back then, you know, I was just like, no, this is bullshit. I rented it once from Video Buster, which was a video store where I lived. There's Skips and Video Busters. We went to both, because sometimes they had games that Skips didn't. But yeah, and a lot of the levels are long as hell. You really got to memorize them. You want boss fights? Well, we got them. But when you die, you know you fucked up. Can you ever think of a more depressing game over screen than that? It doesn't scare me. It's just, it's depressing. Well, I would love to show you more of this game, but as you can tell, I am very bad at it. But I still love coming at it from time to time. And I would suggest you guys give the game a try yourself. Especially if you enjoy games like Volgar. You know, that game was hard for Steam. So if you're Volgar fans, or fans of hack and slashes, I would suggest trying it out, but just be warned, it will fucking rip your balls out of your ass and eat them. It's Blades of Vengeance is just that. It is a bullshit hard game, but you'll come back to it, much like games like Legendary Axe and the like. Okay, so I didn't get the chance to show you that much of Blades of Vengeance, but I just wanted to give you a feel of what it is. That game is brutally difficult, and I am severely out of touch with that game. I do have a cartridge of it. I would show you on camera, but it's tucked away under here, and I don't want to bother my baby kitty, as you may see a speck of him right there. But Blades of Vengeance is a fantastic game. I hated it as a kid because I couldn't get anywhere. I couldn't even get past the first part. There is for most stages, there's like 2 parts per stage. You got 2 parts, and then you have a boss fight. Now, that boss fight, I just got bitch smacked. I mean, I was done by the time I reached the end of the stage, and it's a brutal game, but it's one of those games that it's hard, but you keep coming back to it just because it's actually well made. It's just really difficult. I know I keep going on about difficulty and difficulty and difficulty all live long day, but the next game we're going to show is actually not difficult. But it was a game, it was a type of game I wasn't into, but then as I got older, I purchased a copy and played it actually more so, and it actually turns out to be a definite gem on the Sega Genesis, and it's also on the SNES. But with that being said, we'll show that game, and we'll show more of it, because I'm not that bad at it, but yeah, Blades of Vengeance. That will definitely raise your blood pressure. So, like I said, if you want a hardcore fucking Genesis game, Blades of Vengeance is definitely the way to go. So we're looking at a Konami game I have not played or mentioned on the channel, at least not to my knowledge. But this is a classic to a lot of you people, and I can definitely understand why. Now, when I was a kid, I hated this game. Yeah, Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Why did I hate it? Well, like I mentioned before, it was a game I just did not like. It was a type of game I did not like, for reasons that I will definitely explain. See, when I was younger, I liked games like Contra and Mario World and platformers and shooting. Now, this game wasn't that. It was shooting, yes, but it was a water pistol and zombies, and this, to me, was just stupid. I rented it, and I fucking hated it, because I'm like, all the magazines were ranting and raving on how great this game was, and then I played it myself. I'm like, this is retarded. But then as I got older, I didn't understand why people liked it until now, or until when I purchased it back when I was, I think, 16. I like the look and the aesthetic of the game. I mean, first of all, you know, you got goofy things like when you jump on the trampoline, you know, you zoom towards the screen, and Zack has a look on his face like, yay, happiness! And you shoot zombies, and basically it's a lot like Robotron, where you gotta collect people, and, you know, you got some interesting people barbecue, and you got babies, of course. And yes, zombies can kill babies. Don't show feminists that, they might have a fucking cow over it. But the map screen is what basically helps you out. Now, when I was a kid, I was so stupid to the point where I couldn't figure out the map screen was the thing that helped you the most when it came to finding people. I just took one look at the game and I said, this game sucks. I was a stupid fucking kid, because this is an excellent fun game with great looks, and the music is catchy, and the premise is simple enough. You just collect people, and now there's a baby, as you probably tell, behind that closed door, right? Well, see that key down there? You're going to need keys to open doors. But if you have a bazooka, you can actually open doors as well. Play a couple levels of this game so you can see for yourself. But you'll be definitely ruining a great experience if you don't play this yourself. Like I said, I don't like to show too much gameplay unless, you know, because I would like for you guys to explore these games yourself. You can also go in cabinets and take shit if there's stuff in there. As you can tell, there's nothing there. But yeah, once you get all the people out, an exit door will appear, and then you just move on. There are 55 levels in this fucking game. 55. So you'll be here a while. And you don't get passwords often. Because there are passwords, because that would just be maniacal and mental if they didn't give you a password system. But yeah, I didn't like this game as a kid because I just thought it was too goofy. I'm like, this is dumb. I'm this spiky-haired kid that looks like Bart Simpson with Down syndrome, fucking with 3D glasses. I'm trying to be rude with an attitude. Well, this was the 90s after all. Early 90s too, so this was acceptable. And another interesting aspect too is when you select a weapon, like here's the bazooka, right? If you shoot certain walls in the game, you can blow a hole in it, giving you a shortcut. Yeah, so, I mean, this is pretty much the entire game, but there are bosses. There are bosses. And believe me, you will not enjoy the bosses at all. Or at least the first boss. I did not like the first boss at all. When you drink certain potions in the game, you can actually turn into a beast. And then you can go around just punching those zombies like they're a redheaded stepchild. I mean, it's great. And you can also just break shit. I mean, there's so much to do and see. It's amazing. I really wish I could have, like, enjoyed this when I was younger. I mean, I enjoy it now, so that, you know, it wasn't a classic that just got away from me. I finally, you know, found a reason to enjoy the game. I mean, who doesn't want to be, like, a fucking monster and just punch the shit out of zombies? I mean, I would like to do that as a human being, but it only lasts a few seconds, as you can tell, about 30 seconds. Now, these things annoy me, but they do attract enemies, which is nice, because a lot of the times there's like a shit ton of zombies and you want to get away from them and you can't because of, well, there's a lot of them around. But I love the bazooka because it helps you clear areas so you can get to the people and save them. And there we go. But there's 55 stages. I still haven't completed this game. I got to level 30. Like, that was the highest I've ever got to, was level 30. And I mean, and there's plenty of, like, landscapes too. Like here, we're in a mall. So, you know, you don't have the same outside boring aspect of a game of this type, you know. You actually have other places you go. I don't know why I keep spawning the clown. I don't know why. That laugh annoys the shit out of me. That's why I don't like using it very often. It is helpful. But I just don't like that. Never have. I'm not scared of clowns or nothing. I just don't. I mean, just listen to it. Listen to that for at least 45 minutes to an hour. And tell me you don't lose your shit. Yeah, you got these fucking kids, these midgets or whatever, with fucking, and they explode, and they got, I mean, you got shit all over the place. Like, the creativeness of these enemies are fucking dope. I mean, you got the, they blow up and their heads fly off. It's great. I mean, this is a really fun time. It's got plenty of weapons, different abilities. I mean, you can't go wrong with Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I mean, if you're one of those gamers that has to take everything seriously, then this is probably not for you. But I was more into, like, platformers at the time and in games like Contra. So, I didn't like this game, and it's a shame I didn't. I guess maybe I just took my gaming too seriously, but also it could have also been the friends I hung around with at the time. Hell, they hated Mega Man X. Yeah, Mega Man X, a very well-known and beloved classic. They hated it. And they hated me for playing it. I had some dickhead friends growing up. They weren't all cool. But, you know, that's besides the point. Yeah, but as you can tell, I mean, this game is very easy to pick up and play. I mean, I love Zombies Ate My Neighbors now. Like I said, I wish I would have loved it as a kid, but it's just, I was stupid. And I will admit to that. I'm completely at fault. But you need to play this game. So as you can tell, I was a stupid fucking kid. I mean, there's nothing to dislike about the game. Other than it does ramp up in difficulty, and some of the bosses are just cheap. But once you get past that aspect and actually learn the game, it's a good time. Music's really catchy, and it's not something you listen to outside the game, but it fits it as you play. It's one of those games that, you know, the game music is not something you listen to outside and put it in your car or whatever, or drive 90 miles an hour on the expressway to it. No, it goes with the game. It goes with the overall feel. I guess it's I mean, in a way, it's like a parody of zombie horror films and whatnot. And it's fantastic. I really suggest you give it a try, if you can find it. Like I said, I bought my copy, I believe I was 17, at Skips. They were selling their Genesis games. Now, I had a choice between Contra Hard Corps and Zombies Ate My Neighbors. And I picked Zombies Ate My Neighbors because I never played Contra Hard Corps. But I did play Zombies Ate My Neighbors, and I wanted to give it a fair chance. Because everyone just kept telling me how awesome of a game it was. And I need to give it a second chance, and so forth and whatnot. And I'm glad I did. You know, if I had the money, I would have picked up Contra Hard Corps as well. But I didn't have it, so it was a choice between the two, and that's a hard decision to make. Definitely, because both are fantastic Konami games on the Genesis. Mega Drive, whatever region you're in. So, with that being said, let's take a look at the next game, shall we? Another thing I hated about this game was the bloody difficulty. I mean, this is the first boss, obviously. However, as you go on, the bosses get much, much harder, and they have much more hit points than they should have for a beat-em-up. The Brutal in this version is so goddamn difficult that to this day I still haven't been able to beat the American version of Streets of Rage 3. But it's still a fun challenge, and it's still a fun game. It's just brutally hard. And if I really want to test myself, this is usually the game I go to. Because this game does... This beat-em-up has some of the worst difficulty I've seen in a video game. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty sure some gamers out there could probably agree with me on that. But it all depends on your preference and how good you are with games and how good you are at smacking that attack button at the right time. But I do have to say the AI in this game is absolutely cheap and will almost counter everything you do. It's kind of ridiculous. This is my favorite tune in the game right here. That's why I'm going to show this segment before cutting this game quits, because I can sit here and play this until I lose all my continues and lives, but, you know, that's not what this video is about. It's not a Let's Play or anything like that. It's just to show you some games that I enjoyed, or enjoyed after getting past the initial annoyances that it has. I mean, it's a challenge. Like I said, I have not beaten this game yet, but I am going to, you know, continue to try and continue to play. I have a repro cartridge of this game, so I can be able to do that, and hopefully beat it, and then, you know, maybe one day I can find some buddies to hang out with, and we can see if we can conquer this game together. Because the best way to play a beat-em-up, of course, is with a friend that has the same love and admiration for beat-em-ups like I do. That's the best way to do it. So, you know, I know I don't have a good way of explaining things, but I'll just sum it up in this way before I end this segment. Is I didn't like the music, and I didn't like the difficulty, and I sure as hell didn't like playing the game solo, because the computer is bullshit hard in terms of AI. At least in my opinion. But as I grew older, I grew admiration for the music, I grew admiration for the difficulty. I knew what they were trying to do because, a little trivia for you, Sega was getting pissed that people were renting games, and in doing so, they would beat the game, bring it back, and then they would lose sales over it. They wanted to make the game harder so people will have to spend more time with it, thus chances of buying it are rather great. Now, when I was young, I rented the game, and I'll be honest, I was done after I played it. I'm like, you know what, I like the first two, love the first two, I'll own them in my collection. I mean, I had the first one already. I didn't have two at the time. I got that when I was 13, I think. It was on sale at Funkoland for $10, or $9.99 plus tax. I always just round it off. I mean, what's the point of just going to exact figures? But, you know, I digress. You know, it was cheap. But, when I rented this game, I was like, yeah, this sucks. I don't like it. And, I never thought I would buy it, or I wasn't intending to ever buy this game. But then, you know, some years later, I remember, you know, when emulations started popping off, and I was, like, getting all sorts of games I used to play or have never played and always wanted to try. You know, this was one of them. And that's when I, you know, started playing this more often and thinking, you know, okay, this game is not as bad as I originally thought. You know, I would play it more, and the more I played it, the more I got used to the difficulty, and the more I enjoyed the music. It grew on me. Some games will do that to you. However, that can't be said for all games. Some of the times the music is just so goddamn awful that it's just not something I want to torture my ears with anymore. One game in particular, Streets of Rage 4. This, I don't care what anyone says, that new soundtrack is dog shit. The game is good, the soundtrack makes me want to punch myself until I don't hear it anymore. It's that bad. Fun tip here, if you beat this dude up before you kill Rue, you'll be able to play Rue on your next continue. I'm pretty sure most people know that by now, who play beat-em-ups. But as you can tell, the fucking... it's hard. They always go off-screen, and they always counter you. It's a tough game. I mean, it's something that... I mean, it's not just a beat-em-up where you can just sit there and just beat the shit out of everyone without using your head. You gotta use your head, like, in terms of strategy, and use exploits and shit. That's my experience, though. I mean, let me know what your experience is down below, as always. See, that cocksucker's not dead yet. Come on, die! Okay. Well, they both died, so that's unfortunate. Behold, the worst music in this game. I hate this tune. It's stupid. Sounds like something you'd hear at the Bloy Oyster Bar from Police Academy. Alright, now I'm going to shut this shit off before I fucking have an aneurysm. This might also seem to be a shock to you guys as well, because I did a Let's Play on this. But when I was a kid, I fucking hated this game for a couple reasons once more. And the reasons are, one-hit kills. You know, you go from a game that has a energy bar to a game you get killed in one hit. But, you know, later on in life, I realized that was part of the charm. And also, having your dog with you is actually very helpful in lots of situations. And admittedly, when I first played it, I didn't like the soundtrack either. But over time, I fucking love this soundtrack now. See, like with those guys with the shields, dog is pretty much useful for that. The one-hit kills are a shit, but that's okay. It's something I can forgive. But I couldn't get anywhere in this game as a kid, but I kind of mastered it. I haven't beaten the third level. There's 3 levels of difficulty. Levels 1, 2, and 3. I've beaten the first 2. I have not beaten 3, and I hope to do it. And if I can master that, like completely master it, I wouldn't mind doing another revisit on that Let's Play. But yeah, this game it's short. It gets difficult. And the thing that really drug me away was the one-hit kills and some of the songs in the game. Like, this song right here is still not very good. There's nothing jammable about it. It just sounds like noise. It's irritating over time. At least in my opinion. And the dog just killed itself. Rest in peace. Oh, look, he's back. Your dog will kill itself once in a while. I think it's a suicidal dog. But he comes back. Because, you know, dogs have lives too, you know. Cats have 9 lives, but dogs have like 1,000,000, so there's that. Yeah, I mean, could you imagine just being a kid, though, and playing a great game like Revenge of Shinobi, and then playing this, finding out you die in one hit, and the music was not made by Yuzo Koshiro? It's made by someone else completely different. I don't remember the guy's name. I do apologize. But, you know, once again, I learned how to play the game. The soundtrack grew on me to the point where it's actually something I will listen to outside the game now. It's some of the tunes just get stuck in my head. Fuck, dead. But yeah. That was to be expected, though, because, you know, fucking rock falls on your head, you're gonna die anyway. Brain trauma is no joke. Now, this is supposed to be loosely based off an arcade port. But it's very loosely based off it. The design is different, and that's about it, really. But it's a fun time. I think you'll enjoy it. I mean, I know we're going out on a whimper in terms of the games I'm mentioning, but I sincerely thought this game was shit. My brother got it for Christmas in 1990. I want to say 92. Actually, that is correct. 92. He liked it. I hated it. Well, I didn't like hate it. I just didn't like it at all. Because I was like, one hit kills, fuck that. You know, but then, you know, it makes me sound like a hypocrite. Because I was all, hey, Contra. Yeah, Contra's great and you die in one hit in that game too. I don't know. It wasn't my thing. And I just didn't like the difficulty most of all. And I thought the level designs were kind of boring. But they do fit the arcade motif. So, you know, that was just my young ignorance that clouded my judgment on this title. But as you can see, I'm blazing through the game. I love it to death to this day. I still love to pop it in and play it. So, that was ignorance of my youth. Matter of fact, all these games were pretty much ignorance of my youth. I was a stupid fucking kid that had stupid expectations in video games. But they've changed, because, you know, when you get older, you change. And unless you, like, figure out... If you play the game more, it sometimes will just grow on you. Even if it's, like, considered a bad game. I mean, this game is not bad at all. I mean, I like the parallax scrolling in the water. The music's nice. You know, it's not something I'd expect to hear in a Shinobi game, but it passes. So I was a young, ignorant fool. And I wish I would have saw that this was a fucking fantastic game like it is. Because this is awesome. It's arcade action at its finest. And that's what Sega was trying to do back then. I know I'm going on a little bit of a rant, but... Damn it! there's a extra life down there. Let me finish this stage and we'll call it good. With this game. I was a stupid fucking 10-year-old kid. Okay, I was like, this game sucks. You only have one hit. Your dog is kind of useless and that. No, it's strategy. And when I was a kid, I hated strategy games like the plague. I avoided them like the plague. Alright, let's see if I can get that extra life. There it is. Ooh. Ah, there we go. Ah, it's a 2-up. But yeah, there's like hidden 1-ups all over the game. You just gotta keep, like, look around and shit. But an awesome follow-up to Revenge of Shinobi. Awesome game based off an arcade port. It's great stuff. Okay, so the last one is pretty much kind of like a... how it was back then for me. It was just, I was ignorant and stupid and just didn't take the time to play the game to know if I would like it or not. And, you know, this whole video, even though I know this video is probably not the greatest, I'm not great at explaining things, and I wish I was. But, you know, I hope it's as good as for what it's worth. But I guess this video does have a point. The point is, if you play a game and you don't like it initially, give it a chance. See if it grows on you. Sometimes games will grow on you the more you play them. Sometimes not. Like if the game is plagued by bugs, frame rate issues, play control, that's totally different. That just means the game was optimized poorly, and you probably wasted your money. That's why you don't buy a game right away on Steam. I mean, if I can give any advice to you new gamers out there, do not buy a game when it's brand new, like day one release. Don't, because there's a patch sometimes which kind of irons out the bugs a little bit, but they still don't address all the issues. I'd honestly wait about 6 months to buy a brand new game, because I know you want to play it. I know you're ripping and roaring to get your hands on the keyboard and mouse, or, you know, a controller. That's it. See, the thing with things with retro games, the reason why I prefer them is because, especially like the Genesis and SNES, is because even though some games are plagued with unfixable bugs, most of them are not. Most of them are play tested from beginning to end, and you get a complete product. You don't have some bullshit patches or DLC to worry about. You have unlockables that are in there with either codes or by beating the game outright on the hardest difficulty, or just outright anyway. I mean, games like Pitfall, the Mine Adventure, you could actually unlock with a code, or in the game play the original Pitfall that was for the Atari 2600. But I mean, that's totally left field in terms of this topic. I apologize once more. But the thing is with what this video has taught me, and I hope it teaches you, that, you know, if you don't like a game, just give it a chance, play it a little bit, and if you like, try to play it, I don't know, a week, try to give it like a week, 2 weeks, and if it still doesn't grow on you, then it's your personal opinion that game's shit. I mean, every day, you got fuckers fighting over about what game is great and what game sucks. I mean, it's been since the beginning of time. But some of these games I just couldn't stand when I was younger. I just didn't like either their play style. I didn't like the level designs. I thought they were bland or just unimaginative. I didn't like the graphics all that much. You know, because back then I was a snob. I was an elitist. I was a prick. All right. But now I can actually appreciate things for what they are. I can appreciate games on any platform, regardless of its graphic fidelity, as long as the game is fun. And all these games I played are absolute blast to play now. I love picking them up and playing them and playing through them every chance I get when I feel like doing something that's fun. Anyways, I know that was a little bit of a rant, but I really wanted to get that point across, and hopefully you guys understand. Anyways, if you have games for any system that you hated when you first played, but then later fell in love with because you gave it time, or, you know, you learned it's not that bad, or, you know, it just clicked in your brain like, you know, this game's not all that bad, this game's actually kind of good. You know, let me know in the comments. But until then, I'm Forever Retro 82. You all take good care of yourselves. Keep loving, keep gaming, keep it retro, and I will see you soon. Take care. Thank you for watching my video. If you'd like to see your name with these fine folks that have donated to my channel, feel free to check out my Patreon and throw me a couple dollars, and I'll throw your name up with these fine people. Or not. It's entirely up to you. I hope you have a great day, and thank you for dropping by.